Everybody 68-50 at the half. The Kings with the nice 18-point lead. Zach LaVine going off. Interesting development in this game. Malik Monk was listed as a starter when the lineups came out, but when the game started, it was Keon Ellis and Malik coming off the bench, and Malik played 10 minutes. What do you make of that, guys?
I just wonder. I mean, Malik obviously would miss those games. Maybe the coach just felt that meant the minutes wise that he'd be better off coming into the game later and maybe playing more spotty minutes. That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, clearly it worked well, but I'd be surprised if it's anything more than that.
Yeah, possibly just trying something new. Doug talked about the 3 phases of the offense before the game, and it worked. Keon was a plus 11 leading all starters in the first quarter, even though he only scored 3 points.
Well, he's a valuable player. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt. I think most of us would like to see him start on a regular basis, but like I say, I think it has maybe more to do with the illness that Malik has been going through.
Sure. Yeah, well, we'll see a lot in the second half because Portland's got a lot of guys out of the lineup, and good. You know what? The Kings took advantage of it. That's what you're supposed to do when you're taking on a team with so many guys that are out of the lineup. And the Mavericks won earlier against the Orlando Magic, so you can't be losing this game before you head out onto the road with the Mavs, creeping up. The Suns have still a very difficult schedule. I've said this, and I'm going to keep saying this. To me, the rest of this season is about how the Kings are playing. It's not about how the Mavs or the Suns are playing, and it's about, do the Kings look good when they win? Do they look good for most of the 48 minutes? And, Jerry, we talked about the only thing that's been consistent about this team is the inconsistencies. You made a good point on when we did the Kings roundtable yesterday. So I'm still trying to look for consistency right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what we're all looking for. And I thought, the first half we saw it defensively as well as offensively. I thought the ball movement was about as good as we've seen all year. Now, it's also true the defense of the Blazers isn't Oklahoma City.
Yep.
We're certainly well aware of that, but the ball was moving well, and Zach LaVine certainly was aggressive. I thought the fact that Keegan Murray started off so aggressive was really a key. I thought he really got the team, kind of like saying, "Hey, let's go get these."
Yeah,
guys.
Jerry, the Kings didn't go away from what was working. They absolutely dominated the paint and dominated the pace with the fast breaks.
Yeah, I mean, just really every phase of the game, that first half, I mean, I don't know what more you could expect. I mean, what kind of to Grant's point, what we saw in the first half is what we expect to see on a more regular basis. Maybe not every night, but you really you need to see that probably 8 out of 10 night. That kind of movement and aggressiveness on offense and
well, it's the last chance to get a W on this 7-game homestand and snap this long losing streak after winning the first 2. Certainly would send the Kings off on the road to Orlando in a much better frame of mind if they can duplicate the second half, if they can have a duplication of what we just saw. I mean, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, okay, can you come out of the locker room? Because we've seen the Kings with nice leads at halftime, and then, you get to the start of the fourth quarter and it's a tight ball game. You don't want this game to get tight. I don't see how it could get tight. I'm looking at Portland's lineup, and, other than their backcourt of Sharp and Simons, I don't know how they could score enough to win this game, quite frankly.
That'd be my thoughts. I mean, obviously with with Ayton and Grant and some different guys out that normally can score. But, as you said, I mean, I think we've seen it too often, to where things were going so well in the first half. And then all of a sudden, 10 points is erased in the first 5 minutes of the third quarter. And that's what they got to fight against. I mean, stretch it out here after the half, and you might have a very comfortable game. If you don't, these guys may figure out ways.
Yeah, if I'm the Kings, do not fall in love with the 3-ball. Despite them dominating the paint, they only got to the free throw line 6 times, Jerry, and probably expect some more zone defense here in the second half from the Blazers.
I would think so. I mean, certainly they the way the Kings are getting to the basket and breaking them down, you'd think that might be what Coach Billups would be thinking.
The other issue, Jerry, you've talked about this back in October. The home court just has not been the answer for Sacramento. If they win this game, they leave town only 500 at home at 19-19, and that's why the Kings are basically a 500 team, because their record at home is so bad.
Yeah, I mean, their road record is
Yes, it is.
outstanding. I mean, certainly good as you can expect, but you really do expect to win 28, 29 games
Yeah.
at home. And so, there's 7 or 8 games right there, 7 or 8 games that you add to their record, and they'd be kind of where we thought they would be.
All right, prediction time, Ryan.
I think the Kings scoring slows down a tad bit, but comfortable victory. I'm going to say Sacramento 121, Trailblazers 107.
I'm thinking about 122, 104.
And I got the Kings winning 119-102. By the way, even though we're not talking about a completion of a game, currently Dallas has jumped ahead of Sacramento because we're waiting for the outcome of this game. So, I mean, if the Kings were to lose this game, they would fall to 10. I guess we're looking at this. Do we think Dallas now is going to end up as the team Sacramento will face in the play-in as opposed to Phoenix?
With Davis back, I think that's probably if he can stay on the floor, that does whether Lively and Gafford ever get back, and they still may. So I would think so. I mean, they're Dallas is getting good mileage out of a couple of guys. Jaden Hardy, the second round pick, came in with a big game tonight, and PJ Washington's been out, and if he gets back, I thought maybe it was going to be Phoenix, but I don't think so now. I think it's Dallas and Sacramento fighting for.
Yeah, the hope for Dallas was to get Gafford back by the playoffs, which I guess would include the play-in. And remember, before Anthony Davis got hurt, Dallas was, even though a MASH squad, playing pretty well together.
Yeah, but that was with Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I tell you, a guy that's really stepped up for him is Najee Marshall, which wouldn't surprise any of us. I mean, he was a very capable player in New Orleans, and now he has to have a bigger role. And looks like
he played 41 minutes tonight, so he is playing a lot of minutes in the 101-92 win. That's the next opponent for the Magic. And listen, we talk about the NBA being a game of matchups, right? That's not an easy game for Sacramento, as we saw earlier in the season. They have Banchero, Wagner, and Carter up front, and that's a tough matchup for Sacramento. Maybe a little bit better now that you have Valanciunas, and you hope that Sabonis is feeling good. But you got to get through this game first. But if you're looking ahead to Orlando, even though they got blown out tonight and they only scored 92 points, matchups are not ideal for Sacramento.
No, those two forwards. I mean, Keegan can kind of play one of them, but we found out that in the loss, Wagner had a huge game, and I mean that they're not near the team that we thought they'd be. Suggs still out. I thought, and he is probably their third best player. But that's a tough matchup. I mean, and they've got depth and length.
Yeah, and they shot the 3 ball extremely well in Sacramento. So I know most teams shoot the ball well, but take that into consideration.
Yeah, which team doesn't, Ryan?
Jared. Did you guys see the end of the Bulls and the Lakers game?
I only read about it. I didn't see it. Did you, Jerry?
I was following the score, and it looked like I thought the Lakers had won it with like 50 seconds to go. They were up 5, and they end up getting beat. So a couple of straight. I think Herter hit a 3, and
Kobe White,
and Kobe White hit a 3 to win
they
it.
stole the ball on the inbounds. It kind of Starks-ish, or Reggie Miller-ish, I should say, for the win. It's crazy.
Well, again, the Kings with a sizable lead here at intermission. Don't forget, we will come on after the game. We will have the post-game show. One other thing, looking ahead, if you don't mind, the other aspect about this Orlando game, they're currently 8th. They're in a similar situation as Sacramento. They could find themselves out of the play-in altogether, or they could be as high as 7, or they could fall out of it because they're only 1 game back in a loss column of Atlanta, who's 7th. and only 1 game up on the Chicago Bulls in the loss column. So this is a big game for Orlando. Big game for them.
Yeah, and they know they're kind of looking. Really, the Bulls probably are playing better than any of
Yes.
them right now, and so even though Orlando's really kind of starting to put it together a little bit, but yeah, that's going to go down the wire just like it
The
is.
Bulls
here
have
in the
won
West.
8 of 10 and 4 in a row. So yeah, right, they are playing very well. They've
King's
been
karma.
we talked about this since the trade. They've been a very, very good team.
Yeah, since the trade, I mean, they've benefited more
Yeah.
than anybody. I mean, obviously, Herter's been very
Yep.
good for him. It allowed Kobe White to be the star, and he certainly handled that very well. And Trey Jones, off as a playmaker, has
boy.
been very good for him.
That's a point guard, right? That went to Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah, they're called. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen one lately, but did you say point guard? Right.
Yeah,
You did
yeah.
say
Point.
guard,
Is
right?
that how it's pronounced, Jerry?
Oh.
Point guard.
I don't know. It's past my pay grade.
Well,
now.
we should look at the next 6 minutes as the fact to end this game. This game should be over at the halfway point of the third quarter. It really should. The game should be over halfway through the third. We'll see what happens, guys. Jerry, appreciate it, and we'll look forward to talking to you at the start of the road trip.
Can't wait,
Ryan,
guys.
talk to you.
Just get some beam.
Yeah, get the beam ready. Ryan, we'll talk to you after the game.
Get the beam
Sounds
ready.
good.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Talk to you soon, everyone. Thank you.